Hey guys, Rachele here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So today I'm going to be doing week number 2 of the Past Lives Club. And I'm trying to do a video for each one of these weeks for all of the people that are also following along in the Past Lives Club. Or if you're just interested in seeing, my process and what I discover. I'm not going to get in super detail, but I am going to show you the questions and the decks that I'm working with and all that. So last week when I did my first week stuff, I got that I was, for the self, these are the archetypes. The crone, the place was the bardo, which is like the in-between place, in between like life and death. And anyways, then the tool was the mask. So it was saying that actually the mask helps kind of like reveal your true self. And to see it, you grow through seeing through like another perspective kind of thing. And then the initiation was the Anima Mundi, which is like everything is all connected kind of thing. And I do have them all written up in my planner. So today in this video, we're going to be tackling the identity, the time frame, and the location. All right. So I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to show you the decks and just start, doing some of the questions. Okay. So to show you, first of all, the decks that I'm going to be using with the identity part is... one is the Spiritual Gifts Oracle cards. One is the Medieval Feathers Tarot, because this was like during medieval times still, as well as the Viking Age, because the Viking Age was between 800 and almost 1100. And the medieval times were also between like 472 to like the 1400s. So the medieval period was also within this time period. And because I am using two other decks, one is the Character Oracle, and then the other one is the Spiritual Gifts Oracle cards. And the reason why I wanted to do that also is because the archetype was crone and my faith was also magic system. And there was also other cards like as in the bardo, the in-between, and another one had to do with like post-life, like astral. I also got like the astral card. So I think that also pertains to this particular life. So I have pulled out some different ones for the different categories, but this is the ones that I'm going to use for the identity. So the first question we have is, how did I see myself in this lifetime? So we'll do the characters one first. You know what? I'm clearing all the energy. I'm asking my higher self to reveal the rest of this particular lifetime that I've already tapped into and show me what I need to know in order to work through any of the things that are pertinent and how it affects me still in this lifetime. And also, if you remember, even with my monthly cards, one of my cards was Circe and saying I am magic. So that's another reason why I chose to also use this deck. So, how did I see myself in this lifetime? One card, please. How did I see myself in this lifetime? How did I see myself in this particular... Okay. Young. Okay. And I died of old age. So vitality, innovation, potential, and growth. Okay. So that speaks a lot. So somebody that was driven and youthful, maybe. So magically speaking, spiritual gifts kind of thing. And I don't know how well this is going to work because this is the first time using these decks with this. But in the group, if you're in the divination and spirituality group, Tony Antoinette, she showed her first week and she used, I think, the character deck and another deck that I'm going to pull out for a different one. But it totally inspired me. I was just going to use straight tarot, but when I seen that, these decks are kind of designed for this kind of stuff. So I was like totally inspired by her stuff. She always does the best. She's so good. All right, so how did I see myself in this lifetime? What kind of spiritual gifts did I see myself in that lifetime? Okay, plant medicine. You're being called to explore plant medicine to bring healing to the body through its therapeutic properties. Okay, and I kind of already do that now, you know, and I don't really take, I mean, I do take like vitamins and stuff. I don't really take any herbal supplements that I can think of, but I do drink herbal tea, and I also use a lot of like herbs in my magic. It's like my foundation, really. Very much a green witch. So that makes sense of how I seen myself. And this one's a little bit bigger. And have I used this one yet? I don't think I've used this deck yet. Let me see if I can waterfall it, because I'm not sure if I've even shuffled this one yet. How did I see myself in that lifetime? This might be a bit longer, guys, and I'm sorry. I like to actually shuffle these so that you can see that these are the actual cards that I get. So, and I can only, with the software I use, fast forward 2 times speed. So, I apologize. It's going to be a little bit longer, but, you know, this is the actual process. Doing past life work is long and tedious and detailed, right? How did I see myself in that lifetime? It's very layered. How did I see myself in that lifetime? How did I see myself in that lifetime? How did I see myself in that lifetime? That was like half of the damn deck. I'm not doing that. How did I see myself in that lifetime? How did I see okay, there it is, finally. I must have these all upside down. Oops, I'm confused. Okay, I didn't. I just think they have an upside down. Like I said, this is the first time that I've used this deck. So Ace of Wands, passionate. That makes sense with this right here, right? Vitality, innovation, potential, growth. Okay, so that makes sense. That's how I seen myself. All right, let me do this. Next one. How did my partner see me in that life? How did my partner see me in that life? Oh boy, a drunkard. Okay, so alcoholism, addiction, avoidance, and abuse. So I wonder if, when it comes to plant magic, I wonder if I actually did a lot of like psychedelic trips kind of thing. But maybe to a point of it being unhealthy. You know what I mean? So spiritually, what kind of gifts did my partner see that I had? acupuncturist. You're being called to explore stimulating acupuncture points to encourage healing, to restore balance and energy flow. So perhaps I was also Reiki, something like that, which in this lifetime, I also am a Reiki master. So, interesting. Because there's like parts of the body. You know what I mean? It could have been with needles and stuff, but back then it was probably more like energy healing in those areas is what I'm guessing. Because this was like anywhere from 1,000 to 1,200 years ago, this lifetime. How did my partner see me in that light? Okay, that was fast. 10 of Cups, leadership. Okay. All right. So the next question is, how did my family and friends see me? How did my family and friends see me in that life? How did my family? A soldier, guardian of nations, loyalty, honor, integrity, and selfless service. Okay. So I was some sort of soldier. Or somebody that was loyal, had integrity. I helped people. I was a selfless kind of person. Okay. Fought for what I believed in. How did my family and friends see my spiritual gifts? What did they see as my spiritual gifts? What did they see as my spiritual gifts? My family and friends. Claircognizance, which is also something that I have in this lifetime, and I think it stems from my dreams. You're being called to explore and tune into your gut instinct when you just know, but not sure how you do. Share that wisdom. Okay. Yep, that's so funny how this is working out. Maybe it's just because all these years, all these lifetimes of building up these abilities, most of us in these spiritual communities do have many of these spiritual gifts now. How did my family and friends... Oh, come on now. Let me ask the question. How did my family and friends see me in this lifetime? Okay, I'll take the top. Oops. 9 of Cups. Harmony. Okay. So, my family and friends seeing me as somebody that could trust their instincts, that was loyal, honorable, fought for what I believed in. I had integrity, so I did what I said I was going to do. And I was service. I helped people, right? And that I was in harmony. But it kind of came out both ways. I'm unsure because of how big these damn things are, what up and down is. So I'm going to say maybe I teetered between the two. We'll see. All right. So the next question is, how did others see me in this life? So this is when it says others. This is people on the outside that don't know me personally. Okay. So it would probably be the equivalent of people now that watch our YouTube channel or see little bits and pieces of us on, you know, social media, right? People on the outside, maybe friends of friends or whatever. All right, so how did others see me in that life? How did everyone else pretty much see me that wasn't in my inner circle? How did they see me? Okay, so I always take the top one. So genius, bearer of gifts, extraordinary intellect, innovative mind, and exceptional ability. Okay. That's nice to know, I think. All right. And how did they see my spiritual gifts? Oh, come on. You know, let me shuffle this one like so. How did they see my spiritual gifts? What did they believe my spiritual gifts to be? What did they believe my spiritual gifts to be? I think this, when you're trying to put something like this together, seeing it from all the other aspects is going to show a wider picture of your identity, right? It builds a story. It could be like watching a movie and figuring out the trailer. There we go. Creativity. You're being called to explore creative expression, bringing forth the healing nature of the arts. So they see me as creative, a creative genius. Maybe I was a mad genius. All right. And how did everyone else see me in that lifetime? Keep in mind, when you're working with several decks, it's going to be the combination of those cards together, which is going to paint that story. It's not particularly just one card. It's how they speak to each other, right? Granted, you do it how you see fit. This is just my process. How did everyone else that was not in my inner circle see me? How did everyone else not in my inner circle see me in that lifetime? How did everyone else? This deck is so beautiful. It is really big, so it's not so easy to work with. How did everyone else see me? Come on, give me something. Okay, we'll take the top one here. Okay, I keep on getting confused with the up and down because of that. 5 of Wands, overcoming. Okay, so maybe I had a lot of things that I had to overcome. And it did say that I was working class, the sibling of working class, right? All right. 5. How did I use my abilities and talents? So, where's the card? Okay. How did I use? Journalist. Chronicler stories, reporting, interview, inquiry, promoting. That's interesting back then. So was I a bard of some sort? What was my spiritual? How did I use my spiritual gifts and talents in that lifetime? You are being called to explore connections to places through the land. Key line or ley lines, meridians, latitudinal and longitudinal. Gosh, I'm sorry, it's so hard to see. Metrics. I think that's what it is. By reading about the land, you can receive and understand the messages of the land. So maybe I reported on like nature. I mean, if it was plant medicine, maybe I helped in regards to, like, helping people, like, find the right medicines for this or that, or knowing where to, like, build properly because of weather. I mean, that's just kind of what I'm getting. Okay, what way is up and what way is down? Okay. So, how did I use my abilities and talents? How did I use my abilities and talents? One card, please. I'll take the top only. How did I use my abilities and talents? We're going to take that one that was out. Lightning. Okay. So this is the Tower card, which, by the way, I'm in a Tower year. And my birthday's on the 16th. So, yeah, I think perhaps because of paying attention to, that's what I think that is, because of paying attention to, like, nature, the herbs, and possibly paying attention to, like, the animals in nature and stuff like that, I was able to predict maybe, like, weather patterns, maybe, you know, certain kinds of activities on the earth that could help people, like, reported on it kind of thing. All right, and one last thing. What was my life purpose? And I think for that, maybe I'll just stick with, I mean, I guess I can go with character. We'll see. We'll see if that really tells me anything. What was my life purpose? What was my life purpose? Solitude, hunger, bankruptcy, honor. So maybe it was about helping others, servitude. Maybe, because it did talk about, like, psychocartography, right? So you're being to explore connections to places through the land. So maybe through that exploration, I was there to help people that were homeless find the right land in order to build their homes, or some sort of service kind of thing. Let me see what it says that my actual spiritual gifts that were included, or that were connected with my life purpose. What spiritual gifts were connected with my life purpose? What spiritual gifts were connected with my life purpose? Oh, coaching. Wow, look at that. Manifestation coach, coaching, and astral travel. So I'm just going to take the top one, but I do think that that has something to do with it. So coaching, you're being called to explore transformational mentorship to bring clarity, insight, and healing for growth and transformation. So that's what I think it was. I think I was helping people to transform their current lives by paying attention to my gut instincts and to plants and healing and being creative. And it all is part of it, right? I mean, I can see it all being part of it. And I can see that kind of being part of even my life now. Probably for most of us that are in the spiritual community, that's what we do. We learn and we share what we learn, right? In order to try to help other people. I mean, that's what tarot readers do, really. They coach. They guide. It is a service. So, what was my life purpose in that life? What was my life purpose in that life? What was my life purpose in that life? I think because of how long this is going to be, I might just go ahead and draw my other cards and then show you what I got afterwards. I'll show you, I'll show you what I got, or what decks I'm using for the other ones, okay? But what was my life purpose? What was my life purpose? What was my life purpose? There we go. Queen of Wands. Okay. That feels like a woman of passion and creativity, a creative mind, right? Somebody that helps people make the right kinds of choices for themselves going forward. So I could see how that could all fit into this. I could see, definitely. Okay. So let me take the pictures, put them into my planner, and then I'll get started on the next round. Okay, so for the second part, which is the time frame, I am going to use only the Medieval Feathers Tarot. So there's 3 questions. However, depending on what I get, then I will, you know, go further, ask different questions. So time frame. The first question is, what was the theme of this time period? What was the theme of this time period? What was the theme of this time period, please? Exaggeration. Oh, what else we got here? Restlessness and risk. These all came out in reverse, so I'm going to keep them in reverse. It was a time of risk, exaggeration, and restlessness. And this was during the Viking Age, is what I got, which was between 800 and close to 1100 AD. And it was, for further clarity on that, it said group living, and it was like a commune, okay? So in this commune, there was risk involved, exaggeration, and restlessness. So it must have been a time of upheaval kind of thing. That was the theme of that time period. Which, I mean, not just where I lived, but in general, during like raids and stuff like that, and, you know, growing towns and conquering places, that seemed very much a theme during that time period. So that makes perfect sense, right? So what were the major challenges then? What were the major challenges then? What were the major challenges then? This deck is so stunning. What were the major challenges then? What were the major challenges then? Come on. Major challenges then. My goodness. This is such a big deck. I like big decks, and I cannot lie. All right. Get serious, Rachele. What was the major challenges? Conceited. What do we got? Oh, Magician. Yeah, I mean, conquering, right? Conceited, like power. I think I have, no, I don't. They're just coming out like that. What other, oh no. 78 pickup. Okay, we'll take the top two. All right. That way I've got three. Huh. So, conceited with the Magician upside down. We've got the Ace of Cups upside down, so expression. And 8 of Coins upside down, so hastiness. Those were the major challenges. Okay. Now, what phase of that time was I in? 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 All right, what do we got here? The Knight of Swords. So I think what that is trying to say is that I was in towards the end. Because if you're looking at the sequence from the Ace through the King, the Knight is only 2 away from the end. So I was towards the end. So if we were to break that up, I would say that I was maybe in about, maybe, because it went to 1066. Which is when the John the Conqueror went through and, like, I think completely brought all of the tribes together. All of the different, I don't even know what it was called. But that's when he went through and destroyed, I don't even know the right words to say it, but Christianity, that's when it became its strongest in that area. But where was I? Yeah, oh, I was underground civilization, so I don't know. That's another thing we'll have to look into with the next one. So I'm thinking around the year 1000 or so. Or this could be signifying around that time, right? 1066. All right. I wonder if I should take the other two that are on here. I wonder if that'll tell me another story. What do we got here? Page of Swords, 8 of Cups. Preparation for, like, leaving. What phase? So if I were to go 12 and 11, that's what, 23, and then 8, that's what, 31, so 31, and that's 4, which 4 to me is like foundational, right? So maybe go back to what I'm thinking here as far as towards the end. And the fact of getting like 2 that are in uniform makes me think that it's around like 1066, right? And leaving behind like old things where new things emerge, right? Okay, that's what I'm going with. Okay, and the last one that I'm doing is the location. That is also 3 questions. However, as I go on, I might add some more depending on what I get here. Now, the decks that I'm using is also the Medieval Tarot, or Medieval Feathers Tarot. And then I also have the Place Oracle. And I also have the Earth Power Oracle. Now, the Earth Power, it's because the question is said underground civilization. And then also for clarification, it said like a secret society under Camorra, which I had never heard of, but it means like some sort of like mafia family, but also it could have meant like just something clandestine. Let me go to that area really quick. What was it? Secret Society card. Because there's archetypes for each one of these also, which I forgot to mention. Secret Society. Where's my glasses? So, archetype. You're a shrewd, intense, and sometimes mercenary person when it comes to getting what you want. You like to do things your way, as opposed to following the rules of society or others. No one tells you what you can or cannot think. You may also be extremely loyal and protective of your family and those you love. So because it said, in a previous life, you may have been part of a crime society like the Camorra, Mafia, Ku Klux Klan, or another group that encouraged underground criminal activity or attacks upon individuals based on like social standing, race, or other differences. So that also could have meant like vigilantes or people that were looked at as like even like Robin Hood kind of people that stole from the rich in order to help the poor kind of thing, right? So, but none of these locations, and it's not talking about my personality, it's talking about the location where I lived. So, with keeping that in mind, I wanted to pull this, the Earth Power Oracle, because it's got different locations on the Earth. And I wanted to see if I can get a little bit more clarity as to what part of the Earth by what comes up here. So, you know what? Let me clear all the energy of these other two here. Okay. Sound clearing. So, give me a little bit more detail on the location of this underground civilization. Like what part of the Earth. It'll at least give me an idea. Magnetic North Pole. I am flexible but consistent. I am magnetic. I know my purpose, my own true north. Okay. So for me, I wonder if that has to do with like, because there's talk of like Antarctica, right? And, or like civilizations that are at the poles. But, and that was secret. That, wow, that's interesting. Magic based. And I mean, even if you look at, was it Project like Hightower, or I can't remember what project it was, but it was Admiral Byrd, like in the 20s or I think it was the 20s, flew for the United States government, took an expedition to the South Pole. And I know this says North Pole, but I'm thinking that it means like one of the poles kind of thing. And there's talk about Agartha and an underground civilization that is at the South Pole. So I wonder if it's talking about something like that. I don't know. I mean, with it saying underground civilization and then also secret society, two separate cards, right? So, yes. And that's also like no-fly zone, everything, right? So that's very interesting in itself. Let's see what it says. What was the energy of that place? Let's see if anything like this comes up in the place oracle. What was the energy of that place? What was the energy of that place? What was the energy of that place? I'll take the top one. Factory, industrial production, manufacturing process, assembly line. Isn't that interesting? So it was like running like a machine, you know, like very industrial. Because also Admiral Byrd said that they had he also brought up alien, like technology, because he said that they were like bombarded by like flying saucers or flying ships that could go from pole to pole, interesting, within a matter of seconds, it said. And it was right after his expedition, and when he got back was the flyover of all the spaceships or the flying saucers or the UFOs, whatever, over the White House. So, I think that's it for that one. Then we'll use these two for the other. How did the people treat each other? How did the people treat each other? How did the people treat each other there? Eight of Cups. Effect. So the opposite. Hang on. You know what? I'm going to try, hang on. I'm going to try using the energetics of color and see if I can get a few of these to see. Knock on that. Give me 3 cards. Let's see if this works. 3 cards to show me how did people treat each other. Or you know what? 2 cards on top of this one. Come on. And you know what? I should have also done what was the energy with the other card too. With the first question. I mean the other deck. How did the people treat each other in that civilization? How do people treat each other? How do people treat each other at that location? How do people treat each other at that location? We'll take the top 3. So we've got grace, stillness, and elevate. So this feels like it's very much like a kind of place where, especially because we've got this one too. We've got 8 of Cups, which is normally like walking away, right, from a certain type of energy that you no longer want. And I look at 8s like it's usually also like an abundant energy. But with it being in reverse, it says effect here. But what I'm thinking is like leaving like all of the emotions behind, kind of, and focusing on like meditation and a way of spiritually elevating themselves. And that's why they didn't want to be messed with. The outside world would have looked at them like they were some sort of, you know, monsters or corrupt. I mean, we still do. We see like in conspiracy theories and stuff about this clandestine underground civilization that's happening in Antarctica, and they're abducting people and yada yada yada. There's been all kinds of speculation about it. So, but that doesn't mean that that's what they're actually doing. But they might be also working on like higher technologies and stuff like that there as well. So, that really makes me think. It says, what was the government like there? So let's use, where is it? The medieval feathers again. And What was the government like there? Come on, give me a chance to... All right. Let me ask the question. What was the government like there? What was the government like there? One thing I will say, this deck is so... It's beautiful, but it's really hard to work with because of the card size. What was the government like there? 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 Optimism. What else? Optimism makes me think of future planning, future looking towards the future. So doing things, putting things in place for our future, which industrial, building things, but also grace, stillness, and elevate. So spiritually, maybe there's something that was happening there that was not of a bad nature. Maybe it's just from the outside it looks that way, or that's the narrative that's being spun, right? What else? Show me what else about that. Determination. We got another king. Come on, I can't even get it. I only want to do 3. And disruption. 9 of Wands. Also standing up for what they believe. So maybe the only way that they could do it was... Oh my God. This just makes me think of something. Okay, also the stuff, the conspiracy theories about what's happening in Antarctica is also related to the Nazi party. And it said in the book, like the Ku Klux Klan and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that's actually what's going on, but that is part of the conspiracy. And that's why it would look like it was part of a crime syndicate or something, right? Interesting. The plot thickens. So I'm going to get these all into my planner, and then I'll just show you really quick what I've done, okay? Okay, so just to show you how I've done my planner thus far, my journal. I have all of my cards for my identity here. So I'll do my write-up because there was just too many to fit in here and for it to look decent. So I'll probably put a pretty picture here and do my write-up for my identity over here. And then, then we go to time frame. I got all of the questions there. So I can do my write-up, or I can eliminate that and just do my write-up over here with my findings. And then this is the location bit. So this was the card that I drew for a little bit of clarity. And I find it really interesting that out of 3 different cards, it still almost doesn't want to tell me the location of it. Like it's something that we're maybe not supposed to know, because look at underground civilization, then secret society, this is all for location, and then magnetic North Pole, which doesn't necessarily mean the North Pole or the South Pole, because I was reading in that. So, I find that very interesting. So that's what I've got so far for it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sending you love always.